This is Rich Morrison, and welcome to my latest edition of the Thinking Cap, where today we're going to talk a little bit about some of the highlights from the One Big Beautiful Bill in regards to the ag programs. I've been working to try to research some of what's new and improved in this bill. We still could potentially get some changes down the road, or at least some clarification from the government. But nonetheless, we've got a lot of details. I wanted to get these out to you as quick as possible, kind of let you know what's happening. So as we always do with my job with NAU Country is to try to put together not only the grain marketing piece, how it fits in with crop insurance, how it fits in with government programs, to be able to put together a sound risk management program. And so this morning, we're looking at the government program part of this. As far as the One Big Beautiful Bill goes, here's my list of some of the changes that we've seen in no particular order, but most of the changes are in regards to Title I of the Farm Program, which is ARC and PLC. And so, as promised by both the House and the Senate, everybody wants to try to improve the farm safety net. I think everybody realizes, based on a lot of the profitability numbers we're seeing from the universities, that we're in a tough window. It's been a pretty good time, I guess, to be able to change some of these numbers. And so here are some of the highlights. Number one, probably the biggest deal, is that we saw an increase in the PLC reference prices. And I'll show you all these numbers here in just a few minutes. Number two, this is important as well because it raises the PLC effective reference price. And what that means is you get the higher of the PLC price, or 88% of the 5-year Olympic average, or our benchmark price. That used to be 85%. So for this year, for example, corn was going to be, I want to say 420 something. This 88% is going to bump it up to 442, I believe. And we'll look at that here in just a few minutes. The ARC County trigger is going to go to 90% from 86. That's a big deal. The ARC County band of coverage used to be a 10% band of dollars. Now it's going to be a 12% band of dollars. So we'll have to figure out your county's expected revenue, and that the most you can get from ARC County is 12%. For 2025, you're going to get the higher of the PLC or the ARC payment. Even though you did go back and signed up for a program this spring, basically they're going to throw that out the window. The government's going to allow you to get the higher of whatever a PLC payment would look like, or whatever an ARC payment would look like. Now, keep in mind that the marketing year for the 25 crop year doesn't start till September 1, doesn't end until August 31 of next year. So we got a long way to go before the prices will be set for the 25 year marketing year. Payments don't get made until the fall of 26. So just kind of keep in mind, these programs aren't designed to put money in your pocket quickly, but they are designed to kind of sort of counter-cyclically to continue to get money to producers if there's a big loss. Starting in 2026, you will have to choose then between the PLC and the ARC program. The program is expected to add as much as 30 million base acres. I'm anticipating most of that land is what's been in maybe pasture ground 25, 30 years ago. Some breaking land that's come into cropland, maybe some cotton or something, other acres that didn't have base originally. So we'll get more details on that in the future. It's going to increase the per entity payment limit from 150 to 155,000 from 125. So per couple, as long as you're keeping two sets of records, you're going to get $310,000 as a payment limit. The SCO trigger for the SCO, that's the supplemental coverage option, used to be up to 86%. It matched what ARC did. Now it's going to 90% to match what the ARC program did. SCO is a crop insurance program. You do have to buy SCO, but SCO is going to cover basically the band from your individual coverage up to 95 or up to 90%. So, for example, let's say you bought 75% coverage on your RP on the farm. In the past, SCO would have covered from 80 or 75 up to 86. Now it's going to go 75 up to 90. And the other big deal about SCO is that the subsidy level on this is going to go up to 80%. This is kind of a whopper. I believe it was in the low 60s before, if I'm not mistaken, for SCO. So you're going to pick up, not only 4% more coverage with SCO, but you're going to get it a lot cheaper going forward. So next thing, the government will allow you to sign up for the county ARC and SCO. Kind of a big deal, because in the past you had to pick one or the other. And if I decided I wanted to buy SCO, then I would have had to enroll in the PLC program. And we're in a window right now where these 5-year Olympic average prices, I stay with corn, that 5-year Olympic average price is at 503. So I may want to sign up for the ARC program to be able to utilize that 503 price. But now I don't have to limit myself away from the SCO. I can also have that additional up to 90%. Another last item here, beginning farmer and rancher protection or coverage is expanded from 10 to 10 years from 5 years. Beginning farmers and ranchers had been able to get a discount on their crop insurance. The first 2 years of the program, it's going to be bigger than it will be for the last 8. But nonetheless, that's a big deal to continue to help young farmers. So what's it look like? Here's what some of the crops look like on price as I plugged them into my table. These are going to be the new reference prices for PLC programs. All of these numbers are higher than what they were in the past. You can see corn going up to $4.10. It used to be $3.70. I think beans were below $9. They're going up to $10. Wheat's picking up almost $1. You can go down the list. The effective reference price, well, let's skip over to the ARC price. The ARC benchmark price are going to be these dark red numbers. These are the 5-year Olympic average price. And so we throw out the high and the low and average the other three, and it cannot be below the PLC price. So you can see peanuts, cotton, etc. Those are going to be barley, going to be the same as the PLC price. The effective PLC price, reference price then, is 88% of this ARC number. And so you can see how that benefits crops like corn. It's going to go up to 442. That's 88% of 503. Beans are going to pick up some. So for this year, the farmer is going to get the higher of a PLC payment, which would be if the market average fell below these numbers in the light blue box, you're going to get a payment. Or the ARC program, which is now going to be a 90% revenue-based county program. Well, if I go into the year expecting an average crop in the county, these bright red numbers in the bright red box effectively those indicate 90% of this benchmark. So you can sort of kind of compare the PLC effective price in the light blue box to the ARC 90% number in the bright red box and look at one versus the other and see, well, corn's a little bit higher for ARC, beans are a little higher for ARC, wheat's a little higher for PLC, and kind of get an idea which program might end up being the best. Now, ARC is going to be impacted by final county yields. So if you have a great county yield, then essentially you're going to have a much lower price. And in that case, the PLC program might kick in quicker if we have good yields. And I'm looking at around the Corn Belt right now in the Midwest, I think we see a lot of pretty good potential yields. So that being the case, then PLC makes sense. And so because the government's going to give you the higher of the two, these are in the light, call it cream colored box here, these are the current estimated prices from USDA for the 25-26 marketing year. I mentioned earlier, the marketing year doesn't start until September 1, but USDA is already estimating with each of its WASDE reports what they think that price will be. We'll get another WASDE report here on Friday with an update on these numbers. But you can see all of these numbers, every one of these crops would be eligible for a PLC payment. They're all below the effective reference prices right now. So as it sits today, the government's doing what it wanted to do, and that's try to give farmers a safety net that's going to help them in this year. So you're not going to get the money until next fall, but if prices stay where they're at throughout the marketing year, we're looking at a PLC payment regardless of what happens with county yields. And if you're in an area that doesn't have great county yields, then corn, beans might even get a little bit better for ARC than maybe we do for PLC. On the right-hand column, I threw on here the crop insurance prices just for reference. Again, if you had high levels of coverage, like with ECO, this 470, the 1054 also might look pretty good as far as extra protection this year as well. This was something that FarmDoc just released this morning, and I thought I would share it. They did a little bit of a study to figure out, which programs might be paying the most at this time. They made some assumptions in this in their study here, but what they wanted to show was under the old farm program versus the new farm program, how these might work for corn and soybeans. They ran one in McLean County, Illinois. They're still thinking that Ark County has a little bit of an advantage, but that's based on the assumption that your yield in the county is going to be flat. It's based on, if crops are better, then, that's going to lower that payment. But PLC a little bit trailing Ark at this point, but both would pay. And you can see in the old program, beans, we'd be far away from getting a PLC payment. Under the new program, we'd be getting some money. So good news for producers who are hoping to get a little bit of help from this program. I thought I wanted to put some numbers to it and share some of what we know as of today. And as we get new information, I'll continue to share it. We'll talk about this in Monday's aftermath as well. I'll update the new estimated prices for the year on Monday as well. So with that, thanks for listening to this edition of the Thinking Cap. Hope you have a great day. We'll talk to you again soon.